Can anybody see me? Yeah? All right. Hello, guys. This is my first time setting this up, so hopefully it works. I'm looking at the YouTube comments at the same time, so let me know if you can hear my voice and that. All right, they're texting me that Adam's saying he can see me. All right. Hello, guys. So I thought this would be kind of a fun thing to do to take us through all the different elements of production. And I had you guys vote. I may do more than one. We'll see. But the first one I'm going to do is, in fact, 3:30. We produced this a while ago. We produced this maybe 2016. So I'm diving back into the session here. We'll see. I tried to quickly organize the session. I may find some weird things, like some weird little tricks I used to do that I don't do anymore. But then I'll probably also do a more modern song. All right, let's dive in. Let's listen to a second. All right, first thing, most notable, is those flutes. A lot of people have asked us how we did those flutes. It is a couple different things. I use Reason as a sound bank. Oh, by the way, I wanted, for any of you guys that are like into music, into producing music, wear headphones for this, because you'll be able to tell when I'm talking about mono versus stereo. I'll do my best to describe this in a way that everybody's going to understand, but it'll definitely help, and especially if you want to hear like lower bass frequencies and stuff, because we love bass. So, flute. First, we have this lower flute that I used Reason as a sound bank. This was back in 2016 where I was using Reason a lot more. So there's this. There's a higher flute on top. And for those of you with headphones, you'll see I do this time adjust thing. It's a trick that a lot of producers use to spread out your depth of field a little bit. So without it, you'll hear with headphones, it's mono. It's right down the center. And then with the time adjust, it's basically taking the right ear and making it like 2 milliseconds later than the left ear, and that tricks your ears into thinking that it's this widespread stereo thing. And I like to do that with a lot of high-end stuff because it just shimmers. I don't know. It just feels more modern and wider. So those two together. And I remember we did that, and it still sounded, when we're producing, we call it MIDI. It still sounded very MIDI. It sounded like, you played it on the keyboard, someone's first time on GarageBand played it. And we don't like that sound. We want it to sound a little more real and three-dimensional and gritty. So we added I think it was me, breathing into the mic 3 times. And I did that in stereo too. Are we frozen? Oh no. Am I frozen? No. Oh. All right, maybe it'll pick back up. I don't know why. Well, you can still hear it? Cool. So all of that together, hopefully it fixes, but all of that together is this. It just adds more breath to the flutes. Is it back up or no? Okay, let me know if it's back up. Let me see. So there's this intro. That intro, we wanted to do something really crazy. We didn't want to just start with the flutes. Back on? Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. The Wi-Fi should be good here. But you'll still be able to hear it no matter what. So in that intro, there's a soft kick. There's these distorted toms. And this is a distortion I like to use a lot. It's free for any producers out there. Head Crusher. It's a free distortion. And I like it. I've paid for a lot of distortions. I like Head Crusher more than any of the other ones. I don't know. I don't know why. I think it has a unique flavor to it. more distorted toms. This sample, I don't even know where I got this sample. I think I downloaded it off of Google just looking for screams. There's this. It's like a little kid screaming, I guess. That stuff. And then there's an orchestra kick just to provide like a lot of bass and stereo. And that's kind of the intro there. This was fun, but when we were producing this, is it back on or no? Oh.
I'm talking to Grace. So if you want to just talk to fans, well, she's...
I mean,
you can't see anything, right? So Next Up Forever.
Oh, it's frozen on Next Up Forever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been frozen this whole time? Shoot. I'm not sure what to do. All right, while she's figuring out how we fix this, I'll answer your guys' question. What program do I use? This is Pro Tools. To me, I think Pro Tools and Logic and Ableton and Fruity Loops, like a lot of them are very similar, but I've just got to know Pro Tools, so it's kind of just where my workflow is most free. Oh, people are saying everything is fine for some people. Are some people seeing 330 and some people are seeing Next Up Forever? You're seeing Next Up Forever?
Yeah.
Should we start? Should we just start the live again?
I asked her, I said, stop sharing screen and start again. She's answering.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll just start again. I want you guys to see the Pro Tools. You're missing out big time.
Hi. Oh, you can see 330?
Okay, well, could you go into that room, do you mind? Okay, well, while they're figuring that out, I'll just keep going through 330. So we originally had just the flutes without Jack's vocal. And it's very staccato, ba, 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 ba. And we wanted to add some emotion to it, so we had Jack's vocal go like this. And we just loaded a ton of reverb on it, and we added this one knob pumper, which I think is also free. I get a lot of free plugins that basically goes, it side chains it basically. Side chains it where you don't need a kick at all. It pretends that there's a kick there. So you'll hear. Without it. Oh, okay. Oh, this kind of sucks that some people can't see it. I could just answer fans for now while they're figuring it out.
Is the OBS?
No, that's stuck on Next Up Forever too. Did they say we could start over the live?
Just enter fans.
Oh, sorry guys. Whatever happens, I'll end up doing this again. If we can't get it fixed, I'll I really want to show you guys what we've been doing. Here, I'll just answer questions for now. What's the best part about being independent? Yeah, we're an independent band. The hardest part is money. We're lucky enough that like our albums and tours have made enough money that we can now pour it back in and do stuff like string, old-fashioned string and choir sections. The best thing, it's kind of a cliche, but creative freedom. I feel pretty lucky that we're in a situation where we could be like, oh, what if this? What if we ran this through this and we put out this single that doesn't sound like a single? It's exciting for us that we could just do that, and we can have kind of the most personal connection with the fans possible. Why don't I sing anymore? I sing. I think we found with a lot of songs that it just worked better for there to be one singer. We found like it just felt like a more personal connection for something like, something like Turning Out. it's just like, oh, does that make sense? Are you both feeling the same thing that you're both singing about this? So with some songs that are more general, it works, and some it just felt wrong. What's your new album name? I'll never tell. We are working on a new album though. It's it's coming together. I would say we're probably like a quarter to a third of the way done with it. But the biggest hurdle was trying to figure out a concept for it, which we figured out, which feels really good. It feels like now as we're creating songs, they can all kind of point to the same place. We know where we're headed. A lot of questions about Club Penguin. I did a impromptu meet and greet on Club Penguin. So many questions. How do you stay motivated when creating new music? That is a very hard thing to do. With us, writer's block is the worst thing ever, because when I don't know, I think as a musician, when you really like care about what you're creating, you run the highs and lows very, very dramatically. Everybody that knows us can kind of attest when we're excited about a song, we're elated. It's like all we can think about is this song that we've fallen in love with. And when we are not excited about a song, we're just all in bad moods. So it's hard to stay motivated when you're going through such a wave like that. But the trick is to just, when you're down, just keep riding the wave. They're telling me, what's it, just minus? Okay, they're teaching me. Hopefully I can fix this and you can see this. Okay, so now that should be gone. And if I add back in, oh shit, I forget what it was. What am I adding back in? Oh, window capture, right? Yeah. Come on, baby. 3:30? Do you see it? Wait, oh, right, there's a lag. All right, wait, oh yeah, the comments are faster than my lag. Tell me if you're all seeing 3:30 and hearing it. Yeah, right? Yes, okay, amazing. Yes, okay, you're all seeing 3:30 now. Keep me updated in case like something goes wrong again. Okay. So I was at, that's right, the one knob pumper that adds emotion. I'll keep going through. The drums are a big thing in this song.
You disappeared.
I disappeared? Can you hear me or?
You need to move your webcam above.
Oh my God. Sorry, I'm so bad at this technology. Wait one sec. Oh, like that? You could see me? Wait, ask her if she can see me. Okay. Okay, I finally figured it out. Now we can go through this. Okay, the drums are a big part of this. So with this song, I wanted to use a very EDM, but EDM like 2015 EDM kick, like a Kygo kind of kick. You'll hear it's not quite a kick that has a lot of attack. Like if I were to up this multi-band compressor, you'd hear more attack, but I wanted kind of less attack there. That's more, but like just a little bit. Oh, by the way, I've said this in some interviews, but I have something called synesthesia, where I see visuals when I'm hearing the music, and that very much helps when I'm building drums and choosing the right drums. Because for instance, with this kick, I see a rounded mountain. For some reason, it's just, it doesn't have to mean anything to you, but I see a rounded mountain that's kind of like dark black and a little bit shiny. And so when I'm trying to pick the snare to complement that kick, I want something that visually feels, I I don't know, it feels like it fits with it. So I picked what I feel is a very metallic snare, which is this, and added a clap. So to me, that feels like round and rubber and metallic. It just feels like a nice balance. Oh, they're saying please zoom out. I could do that. Oh, I could zoom. Sister, I could zoom for days. That should fix it. Let me know if it fixes it, okay? I muted the vocal for now because I want to just focus on the instruments. So I'll let the verse run.
Oh, 'cause I think fast, but I sing slow.
We very much wanted the drums in this to feel like a constantly changing, I don't know, set of musicians are coming in. So it starts out with that metallic snare, like I was saying, and then it switches to this very real clap. And that little clap that's complementing the flute. Then all the drums change again, and I bring in, welcome to 2016, I bring in a dubstep snare. Boy, those snares did not age well. And I bring in some more trappy snares, which aged better. The kick. Some synths come in. I use Serum for my synths that I want to be like, have a lot of like dynamic filters. That's all the synthy stuff. And then everybody probably wants to know about the trumpet, though a lot of people can't quite figure out what instrument this is. It's a trumpet with harmony engine on it. I'll explain what that is. Here's the dry trumpet. My trumpet teacher played that, and I never told him that I was... He came over and I was like, can you record something? I don't even know what I'll use it for. And I never told him that I put it on a song. He's also secretly on Burn the House Down. I never told him that either. But anyway, so I took that trumpet and I ran it through Harmony Engine, which is essentially an artificial vocoder. So it will create artificial harmonies. You set it to be in a certain key. I think I have it on here. For anybody that wants to produce, this is so fun. It's so fun to think like, oh, what if you ran this through? What if you... You'd probably recognize it most from like, Zed uses a lot with stay on minute, just wait your time. All those kind of fake voices. You can either play it on a keyboard and through MIDI it creates those artificial harmonies, or you can kind of set the program to learn and say it's in the key of A, go crazy, and that's kind of what we did. So it ended up sounding like this.
So if no one's paying attention, then does my voice get to your headphones? You start thinking about the clock ticks, you get nervous, you start stressing. So how am I supposed to fit this in 3 minutes and 30 seconds? Listen to my aching heart.
I forgot about this section. I love this section. The song was feeling really pop, but like what we feel is cool pop. And then we were like, let's just go into a totally, what's that band? Why am I forgetting the band now? With the Boxer is their album. Do you guys? He has a low voice. Why am I? Fake Empire. What's this band? The National. We loved that album, The Boxer, by The National, and he has this low voice where he's kind of a little bit out of tune, and we wanted to create that effect by having two of Jack. We don't have any center, and we just have one of him in the right ear, one in the left ear, and then some backups that are more out of tune, and it sounds like this.
Listen to my aching heart, quick before you skip the song. We are human after all, and we...
So that's very gravelly voice. We were really excited when we first got Jack to sing like that. Jack, I'm very lucky to work with a singer like Jack because he's very versatile. I think a lot of singers are like, I know my one thing, it's scream singing. And every time I record from Jack, it's like, oh my God, you could do that with your voice too. So that's really fun as a producer. There's two pianos. For any producers out there, layer a lot. It's fun and it makes your sounds more unique than just out of the can what you'll get from any of these programs. So there's two pianos. There's one soft one. Wait, that's not the soft one. That's the soft one. And then on top of it, a harder one. Drenched in reverb. And Jack's voice has a lot of reverb on it too. So it kind of feels like this is the indie section of the song. And then, like AJR does a lot, it goes from indie with zero transition, just right back into the poppy section.
Someone told me to be selfless, but we are helpless without attention. Wealthy people learn the lesson and never donate without the press there. You wanna skip it if it's wordy, but fit the...
Some bells in there. I don't remember how I got those. That may have been me hitting a glass and then cutting it up.
30. I thought I had the ADHD.
I'm sure this has... Oh yeah, from the one knob pumper. This, the pumper. Like I was saying, it's a... So this scream has this same effect. And then disappears all of a sudden. That's a very modern sound.
30. I thought I had the ADHD, but that's a real thing, and I'm just lazy. Listen to my aching heart, quick before...
We thought stylistically it was important to tie these two sections together. So we keep those flutes going. We don't just go right back into indie section. We keep the flutes going, but added a lot of washy reverb. Swirling in the background, like a memory. Then we go back into this. Nobody notices that thing, but that is, I'm about to find out because I forgot this. Let's see without any of the effects. Sounds exactly the same. I don't know what the hell I did to that. Oh, it seems like it has, this was a while ago. It seems like it has lo-fi on it, which is like a bit crusher. And it was probably pitched up. Something about the writing of this. I'm not going to go too much into the writing because I want to break down. I want to get to more than just one song. I'll probably get to like 3. About the writing, this was like probably maybe the most fun song we've ever written. We started with Never Spoken With My Mouth Full, and me and Jack were in our living room in Chelsea, and we said, we never do this, but we said, let's write a song today. Let's start with Never Spoken With My Mouth Full, and we had that beat, boom, 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 boom. This. You know what I just noticed? There's me coughing in there. What track is that? Do you hear it? I'm like coughing for a second. That's so funny. It's those kind of, yeah, there it is. Wow. Yeah, it's those kind of things that just add texture. You shouldn't shy away from these weird, gritty, lo-fi sounds. It helps your track not be so metallic and so computerized. Anyway, so we started with that beat, and we were we started with Never Spoken with My Mouth Full, and we were just kind of like verbal diarrhea almost, just like what do we want to come next? Now that that's a mouthful, and I'm doubtful. What's fun to say? That was like one of the only songs where we just went on the basis of what's fun to say. And then a loose concept started to form. It's a really incredible feeling. I love planning ahead and saying like, okay, today we want to write a song about, how 100 bad days is 100 great good stories. But it's also really fun to just step out onto the edge of the cliff and hope that you land somewhere cool. Okay.
Listen to my aching heart. Will you keep this record on? If Ed Sheeran writes my song, I'll finally top the charts.
We loved that line about Ed Sheeran. We were like, should we? Yeah.
If Ed Sheeran writes my song, I'll
Here, I'll show you those strings. A lot of those are fake strings. A lesson that I've learned is fake synths alone don't often sound good. They just sound like, yeah, okay, any kid in their bedroom could have done it. And real instruments alone often don't sound good because it sounds too smart. It sounds like, oh, okay, this kid that went to, Juilliard for music made this song. So I like to do a hybrid. And so I've found with almost everything I do, anytime I add in some kind of real instrument, whether it's like cello or violin or trumpet, I do something to it. I layer on top some kind of synth to poke out of the mix more, or I put it through some effect. So here, these are fake violins. On top are these are real strings, and then there's fake cello, more fake cello, a synth, and more fake cello. I love that. I love the tension there. Strings, if you're ever arranging strings, don't play dum bum bum. It's not gonna have any emotion to it. It's gonna sound like someone's faking it. But as soon as you add some strange tension to it, your violins just sound so lush and textured. Okay, I think I covered a lot in this song. I did the drums. I did the flutes. Yeah, I am going to do other songs. Does anybody have any questions about specific parts of 330 before I move on? Did I need Ed Sheeran's permission? No. We name check a lot of products and people, and we never get their permission. It hasn't caught up to us yet, so we'll see. Any questions about 330? Someone said, let's hear the chimes. Did I not get to the chimes? Chimes. Just some high-end texture in the chorus. It's stuff like that that's so high-end. Do you guys know what I mean when I say high-end? I'll show you. There's in the frequency spectrum, the low stuff is, when you hear a bass that rattles the room, that's the lowest stuff that's down here. And a lot of the higher-end stuff, especially when it's really high-end, I bet this stuff is... Yeah, see, it all exists in this frequency on the spectrum. You barely notice it when it's in a mix. It just helps to brighten it up and sound better through iPhone speakers. And I don't know. With my synesthesia, I see it like you sprinkle like paper clips on top of everything, and it just feels shinier. Was it hard to fit the whole song into 3:30? I don't know when we decided to do it. I think we just naturally kind of got to the end, and it was like 3:35, and we went back and we're like, okay, should we make it a couple BPMs faster? What parts should we cut out? That was just kind of serendipitous. I went through someone asked where did I get the samples. I went through some of the samples. Splice is a really good online sound bank that I use a lot. It's the kind of thing, I don't necessarily use it all for my final sounds because I don't love the idea of using the exact same sounds that, any other producers are using. So I like to mess with it and affect it and layer other stuff on top of it. But if you're starting out producing, Splice is so fun. You could literally just search in, trap snare, saxophone loop, and start cutting it up and get inspired that way. Aight. That was 3:30. Next, I'll dive right into Next Up Forever. Next Up Forever is a very different vibe. All good? Cool.
Your eyes are open, so never close them. You'll sail the ocean, finding where you should be. And if you're broken, you'll make your own thing. You'll make it so big for all the world to see. You'll make it so damn big for all the world to see.
All right, let's start with that. Yap, yap. That has a lot on it. Like I said, it has the widening thing on it.
Have to refresh for the new song. Like,
Oh, that's what the problem was. Okay, hold on one second. Every time I switch sessions. Hold on one sec. I'm an expert at this now. And I'm back in front. Just give me a thumbs up if it's good, okay? Okay, so like I was saying, this it has a widener on it, and it has a lot of distortion on it, this head crusher. Here, I'll show you without all the effects what it sounds like.
Yep, yep,
Now I know that was Jack.
yep, yep.
And that was our way of, because the song starts so organically, like what sounds like what could be a sample from the 1940s or 50s, which we worked really hard to get. I'll explain in a second, but we wanted it to be really old-fashioned, lo-fi, organic, build up, what's going to happen. Oh. Zoom. Who texted me? Oh. Hi, Dane. Dane, our guitar tech, is watching. All right, that should fix that. Oh yeah, I was saying I wanted it to be such a contrast, such a juxtaposition of, is this an old song? Did I accidentally click on a song from the 40s? Wait, they're saying damn, so that couldn't have been from the 40s, and then this super distorted thing to show you, okay, it is an AJR song after all. So it starts with this choir.
Your eyes are open, so never close them.
And I've talked about this at length before, but for anybody that doesn't know, we went into an actual studio. This was our only time going into an actual studio. And we recorded this choir on old telephone rotary mics, exactly the way that they would have done it in the 50s or 40s or 60s, because we didn't want to put an effect. You know, there are a lot of songs, it's lame to call them out, but there are a lot of songs that just make me go like, okay, it's a throwback song because it has this effect on it. It's like, put I don't know, put a little bit more gravitas into it. So we wanted to go all out to the other extreme and make something that like literally could have been a sample. So we worked hard on doing that. Actually, another, I've never talked about this, but another difficult thing to achieve was you can have people sing into the old mic, "Your eyes are open," but even if it has an old effect on it, it's like, oh, something's wrong, something's not right. As soon as we figured out, you know, they sang differently back then. They sang as if they had marbles in their mouth. We kind of directed them to do a, "Your eyes are open," a very like manly almost way of singing. Then it changed the game, and we're like, oh, now it's straight out of the 50s.
World to see.
A lot going on in there. We wanted to start the album with this vibe of like, is this an orchestral Hans Zimmer song, or is this a hip hop like Kanye West, like Gold Digger kind of song? So we wanted to do a combination of both. So I'll just go through. Ready? This very orchestral sound. Another stomp. Some white noise. More hip hop. Here's the more hip hop snare stuff. Hi-hat is a more hip hop leaning thing. I'll just show you that. That's a super bell, lo-fi, ringy hi-hat. There's so many layers to this. I think this song has the most layers of any song I've ever made. And this isn't even all of them. I had to bounce down stuff because it like broke my Pro Tools because I used so many layers. That's a very low. Oh, here are all the kicks. Those are all the kicks. We got toms. That's where all the meat is. Look, I'm sure I can find it. The frequency spectrum, like I was saying, the high end and the low end, that's all mid. That's all whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, it's not going to show it, but it's just trust me, it's all around there. That's what makes it very Hans Zimmer-y. Some reversed drums, a very clear kick. That's like, I think I stole that from a song that I'm not going to tell you what song, but that's I think a sample. And here, this African thing is something that I bounced down, like I was telling you. I'll play. It already sounds so complex, but it's so many drums all together.
Kinda scared to drop this.
Yes, there is an elephant in there. It's louder here. That is an elephant screaming. I have no idea why I thought it would fit. It was the kind of thing like I wasn't even browsing. Oh, an elephant could work. I like knew in my mind, oh, an elephant. Obviously, an elephant screaming fits.
I'm kinda scared to drop this album. Let's push it back another week. I wanna be next up forever. Find a way to never hit my peak. I kinda wish I was still a...
How did we get the elephant in there? It was a small elephant, so it fit in our living room.
I kinda wish I was still a virgin. Time to finally see what sex is like. I wanna be next up forever. Forever I'll be second in line. Someday they'll be talking about me. Right now they're just walking around me. My God, are you growing without?
Let's break down what instruments are in there. This pluck. That's a synth. This piano. Very real sounding piano. I'm looking for one instrument in particular. Oh yeah, here. These are 2 electric guitars. We don't use electric guitars too much. I don't know why. I think our mind sooner goes to, oh, why don't we try, cello or plucked strings or horns or something before guitars, but we thought it worked really well here. And as you could see, we did 1 chord at a time and then pieced it together. It just works better to comp it that way. So we know we got, the best of each chord.
My God, are you growing without me? Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Nation, this is how it looks and sounds. But I gotta go so much bigger, so they can never shut me down. I'm kinda scared of graduating.
One of the more modern elements is this 808. If you have headphones on, you could hear. I bet if you don't have headphones, it probably sounds awful, because it's like kind of the trendy 808 that's in now is this 808 that has a lot of weird overtones. Overtones are every instrument and every sound, aside from the ones created by machines, have natural frequencies on top of them. So a piano is going to, or actually, a ukulele has, when I play this, it has bum, 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 bum. It has a lot of overtones over it that you can't really pick up, but your brain is combining all of them into a note that sounds like this. So what is kind of trendy now is this 808 that has overtones that are like harmonically unpleasing. So I don't know, you know what, I'll boost the high end and you'll be able to hear how weird it sounds. I'll take this off. It's like, you could probably hear it now, it's like a weird wrong note. Like a big wrong fart. But anyway, that adds more of the modern element. Like, oh, something's a little like off and wonky. It's not totally pleasing. Someone's asking about my vocal chain. So a vocal chain is basically just the row and the list of effects and parameters that you put on a vocal. I've been using the same vocal chain for Jack for years. And I also always record him on this AKG C214. It's not like by any means the most expensive best mic ever, but there's such thing as a less expensive mic complementing a singer's voice really well, and for some reason this really fits. And we've tried him on other more expensive mics, and it's just like, okay, now he sounds like everybody else. It was kind of unexciting. So I put a lot on him, but I'll show you. So this is a transient master where I'm upping the attack. I'm kind of scared to drop this album. All those transients stick out more. I have a compressor that squashes his voice a little bit. I probably squashed it a little too much, but now we've all gotten used to Jack with a lot of compression, so it sounds kind of cool to me now. Delay, which is echo, which you'd recognize it like Elvis Presley used this kind of delay a lot, where it's baby, it's like it's called a slap delay that happens very quickly. I use it for some songs that feel like it needs more space. Reverb, I think we all probably know what reverb is. Micro shift that makes his voice wider. An EQ, which is what I've been talking about. I dip out.
I'm kind of scared of graduation.
Dip out all the low frequencies because we don't speak or sing low enough to care about all that low stuff. And then up some of the high end. And then the last thing is a de-esser, because without it, his S's, something about all these effects make his S's really stand out. So that's my vocal chain. It's a lot. I know a lot of producers that don't use this many effects, that try to just get a better mic and keep it drier in terms of effects. This is just what I've gotten used to.
I'm kind of scared of graduation, 'cause who am I when this is
Let's see who's in there. I think I'm in there.
Someday the
That's Jack.
someday the
That's Jack.
someday
That's Jack, I guess. I'm not in there. I really thought I was in there. All right.
somebody help me. Someday they'll be talking.
Okay, skipping on to the bridge.
I gotta go so much bigger, so everybody's proud of me. Welcome to the Neo Theater. Won't everybody take their seats? And I'll be next up forever, cause I don't know what's coming next. I know I gotta grow up sometime, but I don't think I'm ready yet.
This is not the choir. This is me, because this was after we recorded the choir. We didn't have time or money to go back and record the choir, so this is just me a bunch of times. That's just me. But when it's buried in, it's kind of convincing as a choir. Piano. Okay, I really want to show you this orchestra at the end because I'm very proud of it.
Up sometime, but I'm not fucking ready.
Oh, I just saw a comment. Hold on, I'll come back to this. I really like this comment. They said, when we were talking about the vocal chain with Jack, they said, it's very weird because you could make Jack sing and mess with it, but to me it sounds natural. I think that's very much the producer's job. I think that it's not the producer's job to get in the way. Be like, look, I produced this. I put all these effects on it. That's what people do when they first start out producing. They're like, look how many toys I have. Like, I want to show off everything. And I think with age, because I've been doing this I've been producing for 14 years on Pro Tools. I think you come to realize, get out of the way. Just erase your footsteps a little bit. I think that's the coolest thing about VFX artists too. That like if you're noticing the VFX in Avengers, then they haven't done a good job. Their job is to do such an immaculate job that it just blends into the movie and makes you feel something, and you don't even notice it. So I've come to learn that that's kind of my job as a producer, is to make you feel something, and whether that's erasing your footsteps so it sounds like what you think a vocal would sound like as opposed to what a natural vocal would sound like. I don't know. It's just a lesson I've learned. So here's this choir. This is my favorite part. I think that is just such a good string line. Okay, I'll break down. Ready? So there's a lot going on here. I'll start with the choir.
Your eyes are open.
That's one. Then, okay, so it's the same choir, but with different effects on it.
Your eyes are open, so never close them.
That one I messed with to sound a little chipmunky, and layering it with the original one just makes it stick out more. You hear the sibilants, you hear the consonants more.
Your eyes are open, so never close them.
Fucking love that chord.
So never close them.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. To not go. No, never close them. That tension in the chord. To not just go, never close them, and just make a normal E minor chord, but to be able to close them just makes you feel so much more. Then I got some kids that went to Columbia, played violin and cello, and they got it very hi-fi, modern sounding. Oh wait, that's not that. It's this. Ready? Here's the violin. And the cello. That is that stuff. Then some fake strings. Some fake low strings. A lot of cymbals just to create noise. Just a constant, swirling thing. We got piano. Oh, no, that's not piano. I'm horrible at organizing these sessions, so that's church bell that's in the piano track for God knows what reason. Some big stereo reverby drums. An 808 just to... Because this was the other thing. So for the end, we wanted it to sound authentically 1950s, like the end of a big, Sound of Music kind of thing. But we also wanted it to sound bigger and even more of a climax than what came before it. And what came before it was fucking this stuff.
I gotta go so much bigger, so they can never shut me down.
These big drums. So how do you match that? So we had to sneak in little modern things like 808s. Is this the end? Yeah, so like all these 808s just to provide a big belly to what otherwise, back in the 50s, they didn't have that much bass, but we kind of snuck it in to make you feel like it was bigger and more modern. Timpanis. Oh, did I cover everything? Oh, no, I didn't cover the orchestra that we got. This is what I love. Ready? I'm just going to let it play through because I'm so proud of it. This we recorded for real in a studio. I'm going to go pee while you listen to it. That end is me leaving the bathroom. Peed. Yeah, I'm super proud of that. I think that covers Next Step Forever. Ask me any questions you have about Next Step Forever. I don't want to look back and say, oh shit, I should have showed them that stuff. 808s, yeah. Oh, if you guys don't know this, 808s are basses. I don't know how they were originally made. I feel like it was probably around the 80s. They were trying to approximate what a bass sounds like. Because I know the whole 808 drum set, that classic snare that the Drake uses in every song, was invented in the 80s and 90s. And it was their way of trying to literally create like a computerized version of a drum set. And they totally missed the mark and made something that sounded totally different. But everybody thought it was cool sounding. So I'm assuming an 808 was a similar thing where they were trying to create an acoustic bass sound, but it just sounded kind of computerized. How does he pee so quick? I'll never tell. Oh, how does Jack sound without the effects? That's a good question. Let me explore. I haven't heard him without effects in a very long time.
I'm kinda scared to drop this album.
Okay, without all the stuff that I had mentioned before.
I'm kinda scared to drop this album.
I feel like I put so much effort into explaining how many effects I put on, and you're not going to think it sounds that different. It does sound different. It hits, it pokes out of the mix differently. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that goes into it that, if you hear it with everything else.
I'm kinda scared to drop this album.
It doesn't sound like he's part of the song. It sounds like he's sitting in a closet recording. It's missing the energy of the rest of the song. You got a Wizard of Oz vibe. I like that. I wasn't inspired by one movie in particularly. I'm such a fan of that era, the music and the movies of the 50s. I think it was the most hopeful music has ever been, and movies have ever been. If you watch, just every movie has this happy ending, and every song ends on a nice major chord. I don't know, it just speaks to me, and it makes me feel like a little kid again. What was the hardest part of making this song? All the layers. I remember working on this song after every show on tour. We were in Milwaukee playing the Rave, and I remember running right back down after the show to continue working because it was just like, how many layers of violins and cellos and horns am I going to have to put in until this sounds as big as I'm imagining? And it makes me realize why people go into actual studios to record full orchestras. Yeah, this will be posted as a video later for anybody that missed it. It's going to be fun to rewatch me struggling with the technology in the beginning. Okay, let's do the last one. I want to do Bang last. I'll let you see for 1 second the other songs we're working on. That's all you get. Oh, I know, I need to reset the window. Bang will be the last one I do. But this was fun. I want to do this again. I don't know what you're saying. Hold on. Hold on, I'm working. Is this working? I'm right here. Okay. Let's listen to Bang for a second.
Rock is so comfortable now. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow.
Let's go. All right. So speaking of producing and trying to erase your own tracks, I think everybody would probably listen to this and say, okay, a piano is playing, but there's actually a lot more going on. There is the piano. But alone, that sounds like my neighbor that is 2 just, played on the piano, which is not a bad thing, but I didn't want to sound like that. So I wanted to add some more depth to it. So on top, just very high end, I added a mandolin. No way you're going to be able to hear that. Hold on. Okay, you kind of hear that? Oh. Wait, you probably didn't. Okay, you probably heard that. That is not meant to be heard as a mandolin. It's just to get that as when you're like plucking the hammer of the piano. So on top of it. Maybe you kind of notice it now without it. With it. Especially if you have headphones on, you're going to hear it just has more of a pluck to it. And then below the piano, I have this sub bass going. Put on headphones if you want to hear it. So, and then there's also this. That's me just with an effect going, oh. And then on top of the rum, bum, bum, boom, I have a whoosh sound effect. That's like a basketball or something whooshing by. So all of that is meant to erase its tracks. All of that is meant to just be invisible and make you think that it's just a piano, but it just feels a little warmer. Oh, and there's also a projector. Just the sound of a projector running. No reason that I could describe. It just makes you feel something a little more than without it.
I get down and I'm jumping around, and the rumpus and ruckus are comfortable.
Very modern snaps. Didn't try to do anything crazy with the snaps because the piano's already so organic. I just wanted like, bam, 2020, 2019 snaps.
So I got an apartment across from the park, put quinoa in my fridge still.
That 808 is like exactly what I was talking about before, this modern 808 that has all these weird overtones. I'll show you. It's like angry growling sounding, but with the piano.
From the park, put quinoa in my fridge, still I'm not feeling grown. Been a hell of a ride, but
Here, I'll play without it. Without it, it's almost a show tune, like it's almost a Broadway song.
got an apartment across from the park, put quinoa in my fridge, still I'm not feeling.
It's amazing how much that 808 adds, and then as soon as you add it,
Got an apartment across from the park, put quinoa in my fridge.
suddenly you kind of want to dance to it and nod your head to it. It just has that frequency space.
In the park, put quinoa in my fridge, still I'm not feeling grown. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking.
Oh shit, I forgot to zoom out again. Sorry, I knew there was one more thing I had to do. I'm not good at them. Okay.
In the park, put quinoa in my fridge, still I'm not feeling grown. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to go.
Here we go.
I muted the vocals. All right, let's explore the chorus. There's a lot going on. Start right with the hi-hats. Extremely modern hi-hats, because so much of this song is, I don't want to say Broadway-ish, but like so much of it is just big and bombastic, big horns and timpanis. It's hard to make that accessible for 2020. What does that have to do with what's going on in music right now? So what we like to do is sprinkle in little like, oh, you'll recognize this 808, you'll recognize this hi-hat, and it introduces you to the weirder sounds that we're more excited to put in. So there's that hi-hat, more hi-hat. This snare, that is a very AJR-ish snare. Just like high-mid, I bet it'll show it. Yeah, it's like all exists around here. Like a rim click. More hi-hat. Let me find the more interesting stuff. Main kick. That's very soft. Very 90s hip-hop. It's funny, we actually started the song with this being the backbone of the song. Here, I'll show you just with a snare. This is, I sent Jack the track, like, is this anything? And Jack just wrote back to me, Cardi B. He was just like, nope, this is a Cardi B song. This is not an AJR song. And so we struggled a little bit to try to figure out, okay, what's the backbone? You know, Sober Up has the cello. Burn the House Down has the the trumpet. What's the backbone of this song that cements it in a more organic world? And we decided on this affected piano, and it turned out a lot better than the Cardi B thing. The piano's still going. That's the backbone. This is all stuff I'll show you at the same time. It's all just kind of like ear candy, I call it. Just high-end, you know, I don't know, just interesting little flavors. Then me singing. With some harmony engine on it. And once you splash a lot of reverb on that, it just helps to make it not sound like a demo anymore. Here's a lot of stuff that went into that orchestra. I'll just play it all at once to show you. 100% of that is fake. So all that is fake. It's just layered timpanis and horns and stuff. And then on top of that, we recorded real trumpets. So altogether, like I've been saying, it's this mix of fake and real that just, I don't know, catches your attention. And the bang, 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 that was us and our neighbors. Speaking of my neighbor, that is 2 or 3, I'm not sure. He's super cute, and we got him to record with us. It's all I think this is first. This is my dad and me and Jack and Adam. Bang, 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 bang. You can really hear my dad in there. And then this was my neighbors and my little 3-year-old neighbor, and you can kind of hear him. Bang, bang, bang. At the very end of it, after the last bang, there's like a yeah, and it's him being like, I don't want to sing bang. Bang, bang, bang. So that's a gift to you, my little neighbor.
Feel like I'm gonna puke, cause my taxes are due. Do my password begin with a 1 or a 2? Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow.
Metronome.
Man, I'm up to...
All right, I have talked about this a lot, but I'll say it again for anybody that doesn't know. The guy who was saying, "Here we go," and metronome, that is the voice of the New York City subway system. We had a demo, I'm sure I could find it, of me singing "Here We Go." Hold on. Is this it? No. And no. Here.
I get up, I get down.
It was a lot slower back then.
Hell of a ride, but maybe it's time to go. Here we go.
So that was me going, "Here we go." And you'll notice back then it didn't even go bum, bum, bum. That was the original demo. So we had me, and I was kind of emulating a radio announcer. "Here we go." And we were thinking, like, who do we know that can actually do that and sound more convincing? And we remembered the voice of the New York City subway system. This guy reached out to us like 4 years before saying that he was a fan of us. We realized we still had his email. And so we reached back out saying, "Do you want to be on this song and say, 'Here we go,' and metronome?" And he was so down. He was so cool. He got it back to us the next day. So we decided, like, obviously it was always meant to be.
Metronome.
Man, I'm up to something.
This was a nice throwback to the click metronome and putting in. We thought it was important to use a different metronome sound than the click, than the in the overture and No Grass Today and Come Hang Out, to, I don't know, to show that we've evolved a little bit.
Up to something. Ooh-dee-la-dee-do.
This has some cool effects on it. We wanted this section to stand on its own and feel like, oh, here's a new section. It doesn't just feel like a typical second verse. And so we did this stuff.
Man, I'm up to something. Ooh-dee-la-dee-do, thank you all for coming.
And we used that, we did that using Vocal Synth 2. It's a very cool plugin for anybody that's a producer. It just really opens your eyes. It's like Harmony Engine. It creates artificial overtones and harmonies and, you know, vocoder and all these effects, but it does it like 1,000 times more. And so this created an octave below and an octave, octave below and an octave up. It was very distorted and cool sounding.
Man, I'm up to something. Ooh-dee-la-dee-do, thank you all for coming. I hope you like the show, cause it's on a budget.
So ooh-dee-la-dee-do, yeah. Come on, here we go, yeah. Come on.
Here we go.
So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody come hang. Let's go out with a bang. I'm way too young to lie.
In addition to the bang, 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 there's fake choir. I think splice samples. That just makes the bang, bang, bang sound more Lord of the Ringsy.
Too young to lie here forever. I'm way too old to try, so whatever, come hang. Let's go out with a bang. So put your best face on, everybody pretend
Little throwback to the beginning. Like, hey, remember the piano?
on, everybody pretend.
Here we go.
I love that. He sent, originally I thought we were just going to go, here we go, that same thing. And he sent another option. He's like, what about this? Here we go. And we were like, yeah, obviously.
Here we go.
Obviously that. We try to do this a lot in AJR songs. We try to give you a reason to listen through the end of the song. I think people are very used to skipping songs after chorus 1, and maybe you get through verse 2, and then you're like, okay, I get it. But we love doing stuff like in Wow, I'm Not Crazy, that ending, and in this, it was this ending.
So whatever, come hang. Let's go out with a bang.
Here we go.
And we saw exactly what the music video would be when we were making that. Like, everything kind of climaxes, and then it's just a tight shot of Jack, bang, bang, and then the song ends. Bye, AJR. It feels very much like the end of a movie. And I'm excited to do that live. We know exactly how we're going to do that live. You're going to like it. You're going to like it. Do you use isotope plugins often? Yeah, that's a very specific question. But yeah, I do. I use isotope. Where is it now? Isotope vinyl. That kind of makes things sound wonky and old and vinyl-y. Yeah, but someone just said, I hate when people skip songs halfway through. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times artists don't give fans a reason to listen to the whole thing. I kind of knew, I love Old Town Road, that song, but I knew after the first chorus, I was like, I'm going to get nothing out of listening to this whole thing. I already enjoyed it. And I was right, you know, but it's obviously the biggest song of all time. But songs like that, I think you understand, okay, I get it. And we try to surprise people at the end and give people a reason to listen. Did we use the sample machine? We don't really use the sample machine while we're producing too much. I draw everything out on Pro Tools, but we use it live. Any other questions about Bang? I liked this. This was fun. I want to do this again. We could pick like 3 other songs. It's going too fast. Why was there no overture for Neo Theater? The album didn't warrant an overture. I think we wanted to do something where the entire album felt like an overture, where every song had a piece of another song hidden in it. And we thought, like, we can't really beat the beginning that we had with Next Up Forever with that old-fashioned close harmony choir. It's like, what are we going to do? Do an overture on top of that? It just would have felt weird. But I think we have something very cool, a very surprising version of an overture that we're planning for the next album that I think you guys are going to like a lot. Please do this again. I will do this again. Sober Up. Oh yeah, maybe I'll do Sober Up next time. Do you have any tips on convincing orchestrations? Let me think. I said the hybrid of fake and real thing. do everything deliberately. If you run into a mistake, that's often fun. Like distortion on guitars, like the original electric guitars, that was a mistake. You know, someone cut a hole in their amp, and it sounded like fluttery and messed up, and that was just a weird happenstance, and it became the defining sound for the second half of the 20th century with electric guitars. Mistakes can be amazing things, but be deliberate. You know, if you discover something great, that's great, but clean up your mix. Like work hard on your mistakes if you're gonna do it, and then it will be cool to people. I'm not the biggest fan of, no, the song is cool because he put no effort into it, and I think that's like a lot of SoundCloud rap songs are like that. Some Kanye songs that I don't like are like that. That to me has never really been cool. I think what's cool is, wow, they put a lot of effort into this. They really put their heart into this so that I would appreciate every little detail. I think that's cooler. Oh, Pitchfork Kids? That would be a throwback. Something from Living Room. Can we get an ETA on the next album? No. Sorry. You have to give us time. We're never ever going to put out something that is not right just because, now's an opportune time to put it out. It's always going to be music first. If we have something to say, we'll put it out. Tips for someone wanting to get into singing. This is kind of weird, but start writing songs too. The best thing that you could do is sing your own songs and find how your voice complements what you want to say. It'll take you a lot farther in this industry to be able to write something unique as opposed to just sing. Oh, Don't Throw My Legos? Okay, yeah. Let's make a list of ones we should do next time. As a producer, what is the most impressive non-AJR song you've heard? I mean, let me give two. One is the Beach Boys on Pet Sounds. I'm trying to think. Do you have my phone?
No.
I'm trying to think what from Pet Sounds would have been most impressive. A song like That's Not Me. Some of the instrumental songs are actually really incredible in terms of production and how they used instruments that had never been used before in the 60s. More modern, when I first heard Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar, that was a real just kind of brain fuck. It was just like, what? Hip-hop can be this deep and tell these deep stories, and the beats can sound so interesting and don't have to just rely on trap sounds. That was very eye-opening for me. I'm good. That's fine. How has synesthesia... This will be my last question because I want to save some for next time. How has synesthesia affected my production? Like I said, building drums, it really helps. I'll just give you an example. That I see as a belly of someone, like a Tweedledee's belly when he's bouncing around. That's what I see it as, kind of bouncy and mushy. And I felt like this moment, without it, just felt kind of hollow, and it needed a belly to it. This could mean absolutely nothing, but it's just what I saw. Oh, it's missing the belly. Let me find a certain tom drum. So that helps a lot. And then in terms of songs in general, I see them as colors. So I see Bang as red. And so it helped obviously with the music video to put us in red tuxes, and it helped us craft that. But just more musically, it helps me think, okay, on the next album, I want to start it off with something that feels really inviting, a very warm yellow color, and then maybe I'll take a left turn and do something red. It just helps me think the trajectory of the songs in terms of the colors. That was my last question I'm answering. All right, thank you guys. I hope this was fun. And I'm going to post this on YouTube so you could watch it. Sorry about the technical difficulties. And let's do this again soon. Everybody watch.